as leaves are also different. My mosaic is compound and this one is single leaves. Yeah.
Okay, we understand it has a rhythm. That's the interesting part. That it has a rhythm. It has a rhythm between day and night, right? And you let's come back to the same thing. You say that you believe it can sense light and dark. What makes you believe that? You do not have to tell everything.
Actually, you already said an experiment, you know, light and dark experiment.
So let's say this is your hypothesis. Let me see if this plant can sense light and dark.
That we have done study on related to the sunrise and sunset time. Like there was a summer solstice period, like it's a longest day, time from June 21. And in that day, not we usually do that, but we observed in different parts. Like we observed that the opening and closing of the leaves is not coinciding with the sunrise time.
Intensity.
Like we have a hypothesis that the plants will open their leaves during the time of sunrise and they will close during the time of sunset. So, but what we observe is that the opening of the leaves, suppose the sunrise time is 6 a.m. So the leaves started to open before itself that. Like, so it's not sunrise or sunset time. Not that much coinciding because there was a study that studies that conducted in like in Drosophila also, like related to it was an Nobel Prize related work in 2017. It was stating that the clock is endogenous, like it is regulated an internal mechanism like some kind of genes, like they call it as Phyllanthus and Phyllanthus genes. So parenting genes. So the expression of these genes that actually controlling that determine the sleep-wake cycle in Causerie. Like this gene the production will be more during the gene protein. The production will become more during the daytime, and in the evening time it's like a feedback mechanism. The same protein itself is inhibiting the expression of that particular gene. So there will be a feedback mechanism that is regulating. So, but we also we have done some experiments on like in continuous light by putting some in our home labs. So we also see that even though we place these plants in a continuous light, they continue to open and close normally. But the time period may be different, but they are doing the same pattern like opening of leaves and closing of leaves.
Okay, that's great. So, for how many days have you checked this constant light?
It was about 5 days.
Do you have a graph of that 5 days or something kind of data of this?
Yes, Shraddha had done that. She's actually not here now. So, it was, but one thing we noticed is that after 5 days, we have only done it in 5 days only. So, after that, the leaves are not closed like
At all?
but we didn't further observe that the leaves are not closing. We don't know why that might be.
Leaves are not closing for how long?
That we don't know. Like only we have done it because they are partially closed, not completely
For
closed.
how long you checked that after 5 days the leaves are not closing? For a few more hours.
I think on 5th day onwards, I guess they started observing.
I also want to know what is the experiment itself. Like how was the hands given continuous time? Suppose I want to change. I mean, I like this experiment quite much, so I want to repeat it. I have a lot of Phyllanthus in the garden.
Yes.
Phyllanthus here, Phyllanthus there, Phyllanthus everywhere. So it's a lot of Phyllanthus out there, and many varieties. So now I have Phyllanthus, now I want to do this. But now you have to tell me how should I design my experiment? How do I give constant light on the same time throughout the different? So how do you do that one?
So what we have done is that we have used LED light.
Maybe the way in the room or
Saying that this is classic evidence in that way.
so you can have the light on.
5 days.
So why don't we I don't have a separate phone for doing that.
Because we use even 5 days and during night time, we need to provide lights.
So can I do it in a box?
कुछ नहीं चल तो रहा है
We have got like
इसमें भी आ रहा है
what we have done is that we put this plants in a room. Like we have closed the windows with the curtains and what, and we have provided only the continuous light. Like LED lights we have provided.
ये कुछ सेटिंग है इसके
And
लिए
it's the
Small idea.
and after that we have 5
How many lights are there? Only one. So that one also. So when I really want to try this out. So I don't have so many things to do. So what I want to do is
चलो ऑन किया मैंने
I said take one problem.
इसको स्ट्रेच कर
Some to be try to do some like a box. I make a box and put a light.
how
Box is closed.
if I take it on the next page वो वहाँ तक पहुँचेगा
Well, then the light will come.
एक्सटेंशन बोर्ड हो तो होगा
नहीं नहीं
Well, I don't know whether that is enough for them to make up that doesn't. So I don't know they will start.
So there are two benefits of it.
No. Break up. Did anybody try the box? Or even this experiment at the long term?
See, there are two benefits of
See,
it.
one is, suppose if I say, it is happening because of the options of sun, not really because of the light. Are you understanding what I'm saying? See, sun being there on one side could actually create, some vibration or whatever it is other than light. What if it is that which is causing them to make up a sleep, so to speak, other not just the light? See, like for example, today is 3 o'clock, and these fellows are already sleeping. Right? So, reason could be our stress. Because you forgot that from this point.
So you agree that closing of leaf is multifactorial behavior. It can depend on. Like currently, you are saying that they can sense light and dark, but it's light.
I think water also matters. Like when we don't give water properly, they
Water
get.
only.
Uh,
Yeah, water.
yes, but might be in a stress condition because we are uprooted the plants. Like
It's one plant species among so many.
and one thing also I want to point out is that like there is a given Causerie, we actually observed that under the street lights, the leaves are not closing at all, even 9 p.m. and all.
Whoa, who did that observation?
Causerie.
Okay.
So I think that's maybe the plant. We don't know actually. There's one.
I have an idea now. Okay, so there is a place where there is always the same kind of light in very large place, and that's the airport. Inside the airport, okay, there are lights day and night. The same kind of luminosity will be there, and there is a place to plant trees also. So why don't you take some initiative and talk to the airport authorities, saying that all that we need is to just plant some pots there and do this observation. Okay, and then we'll come to know weather-based look at all, because airport is 24/7 running all the time. The same light intensity all the time. So that's the best place to do the experiment. So which airport? Cochin airport or where do you want to do this? But I mean seriously, if anybody has any friends with the airport staff, papas, uncles, huh? We will figure it out. Because no, we really need to conduct this experiment seriously.
There was a reference that said about some light pollution. Like that if you continuously getting light even day and night, the plants may get adapted to that environment, and they continue to offer their leaves.
So which means that there must be some other factor other than light. You have to discount the light as a factor. So, I mean, this is, my only suggestion is do this study, but my sincere suggestion is don't take a marginal plant, but take a typical, plant that closes all organs, leaves more creative. Something like any leguminous plant. So why take Phyllanthus? You take any plant and connect to it.
Like since it's a small plant, we can easily to observe.
No, but the problem is that somebody said one is a compound leaf and the other is actually a branch. Phyllanthus is a branch, it's not a compound leaf.
It's a simple.
Yeah, it's a simple leaf, and that's why I'm saying it's not a compound leaf. But the entire branch, the entire branch is folded, right? This whole branch is folded, right? So each leaf is folded, but then it behaves as if it's one leaf that is folded. It's not the leaf that is folded. So we need to have some kind of control to draw some conclusions. So what I would suggest is, take any vegan branch to reach out and sign. Touching our land is also fine for doing this. But without touching, if you do this experiment, then you might be able to get answer to what happens to the plant with the continuous life experiment. Would it hold? And what does the literature say? Literature in the sense that existing journal publications are much more.
We have to show that much references related to this sleep-wake cycle.
No, don't use that word sleep-wake cycle. You cannot use that term for plant physiology.
Actually, references are lacking regarding the circadian rhythm. In the more work is going on pharmaceutical studies and all. Nobody is looking at
No, but they have not done it in other reports.
yeah, it is there.
So look at that.
Yeah.
You see, somehow you got the experiment, but I have objections of using that as a model system for this particular experiment.
I believe it's still not convinced.
Biological clock, right?
Like this plant, I think this plant was 20 I think that it get opened, their leaves get opened during the morning time. Now suppose the leaves are closed like this, but after during the morning, when you observe this plant, you can observe that the leaves are open. So in the evening time, when you observe this plant, you can see that the leaves are closed. So this pattern is repeating in every day. So we can say cycle gets repeated every day to the beginning. So we can call it as a circadian rhythm in terms of function.
So I just wanted to ask this. Like you said, there is a internal clock, biological clock, right? So just like the one duration of a physical clock, is 24 hours. What is the duration of our, not our, Phyllanthus biological clock? Any idea? Or any plant's biological clock? You talked about an experiment, right? Someone did to get the Nobel in Drosophila. The Per in the team experiment that was done, which fetched the Nobel in 2017. So, what is the internal clock's duration? So, one cycle completes in what time? So, one cycle in a clock completes in 24 hours. One cycle of an internal clock. So, you said that you kept the plant in constant light, and the plant still continued to close and open the leaves. So, how long did one cycle took in a constant light condition? Was it 24 hours? Was it more than 24?
There are two ways. One is light, when it is waking and when it is sleeping, right? Another way. So one waking and second waking. What is the time period in between that? So that when you are
Like how many times the leaves are get opened, that's like
If the leaves are open at 6 o'clock,
we'll show it in the graph.
See what you are. So I just wanted to tell everyone.
1 week next week.
So they started with a plant that no one wanted to identify, and they didn't tell us. They are being very, very secretive about this. But what they are studying is chronobiology. What they are planning to study is chronobiology using a plant they just found, right? But they are not just telling us that they have been planned to understand chronobiology. So this whole field is called chronobiology, where chrono is all about series of events in a timely fashion, and biology is biology. So even life has a series of events going in a timely fashion. So when we say circadian rhythm, when we say internal clock, sleep-wake activity, it's all time regulated paradigms we are studying, right? Even hunger. So what they are saying is this plant can be a model system to study this very huge field of chronobiology, which, let me tell you, was started by a plant. So, and similar kind of experiments were done. So that's why I wanted to understand your experiment. And might be there are many things hidden in your experiment which you are not paying attention to. So when you say internal clock, how long does it take for the plant to quote unquote be awake, open the leaves according to you, then again close the leaves, and again the next opening? So what is the duration between the first opening and the second opening? Is it 24 hours, less than 24 hours, more than 24 hours?
I think it's less than 24 hours because the sunrise is at 6:30 a.m. Before that, itself the leaves are starting to
Open. And when do they close them?
at the evening, it's around 5:30.
Before the sunset.
Yes, before the sunset. So it's less than 24 hours.
So less than 24 hours will be when next day they open a little earlier than what they opened. So next day when do they open?
No, it's not exactly before or after. I can say that. I don't know about that, but I think it's toward
Your data will say no. You have 5 days data, what she's saying, which is more than. You have a 5-day data in constant light, right? Where is that data? Where is that gold you are hiding?
I think that
It will be revealed tomorrow.
no, we are
You're presenting that data, right?
no, we have last presentation we have
Sorry?
in last presentation we have that.
Oh, so you last means last group meeting.
Last
Last year, no one remembers what you did last year.
okay, sir.
You can't hide gold. If it is some, so you have a 5-day off in circadian labs. Let me tell you what you are doing is exactly what these labs funded with millions of dollars do to prove a circadian rhythm based activity. These are called free. So when you allow an organism to behave in a normal light day cycle, it's called a normal run. Then you allow it to just behave in a constant light or constant dark, that's called a free run experiment. There you are actually figuring out, see, if I wake you up by alarm and make you sleep by alarm, by physical clock, you will maintain that rhythm because of a physical external force, whether it's alarm, light, dark, setting of sun, rising of sun. What you are hypothesizing is, even if I give constant light, it will remember to open at a particular time and then close at a particular time. So which means there is a clock running inside these plants. And just only by giving a free run in light, you can find out the duration of how much of this clock is offset with the real clock. Is it exactly 24 hours? Is it more than 24 hours or is it less? That's called free run experiment. So you are actually doing free run experiments that every circadian paper talks about, but you are not telling us about. That's all. So you should show that data and we can discuss a lot on it.
And integrated when we consider it square.
Again, they are talking about themselves. I don't know what else to say. I think that's why I just
She didn't understand what you said. So
Please don't call me sir. There's only one sir here. Who also disagrees to be sir.
you were saying actually, what is the time duration between first waking up and second waking up?
Yeah,
What was
first
it?
week and second week. Can you show that in that graph? Why don't you show it there?
When there's a constant light condition.
So what is
So
the
expired.
what is there on the y?
It's like we can consider activity like opening. It's one consider.
This line.
Activity.
Can you show it? See, can you show it there? On the board?
Yes. It's like 0 to 1. I'm saying the activity pattern only. Like
Oh, okay. Whether it's closed or open. Closed is 0, open is 1.
okay, from 6 a.m. It's normal one I am showing here. From 6 a.m. they start to open their leaves. It takes nearly 1 hour to open the leaves completely.
Show it there.
Yeah.
So is it like, I have one more question here about dynamics. Is it like in 1 hour from this to this happens in 1 hour, or in 1 hour all the leaves which are there are in this position? You understand the difference? So it can also
completely open.
but all the leaves everywhere
Yes, sir.
take 1 hour
Or majority.
to open.
Majority we can
You
consider.
draw their majority.
Like, while we observing, the leaves that get completely open, in most of the leaves, according to that, I'm saying, so it will take nearly 1 hour to completely open, and after that, the leaves will be open state, and after around 6 p.m., nearly about 5 p.m. and all, they started closing. So in 6 p.m. they get close the leaves. And so again, there will be so this much of time the leaves will be closed. So the next day. The next day, it again open their leaves, and this pattern is kept continued. So this
Can I come there? Perfect. So this is your this color and tell us what happens when you keep it in.
Continuous light.
Constant light. What happens in constant light?
in constant like in first day I would say the graph was
So draw.
like this.
No, you have to. That's why I'm using two colors. No, don't have to rub this.
Today
Just start from here and make the same graph, even if it's on top of it, what happens when there is a constant time?
So in first day,
Imagine this graph is not there, just drop x and y axis.
so first day, what we observe is that the leaves will be the normal time, like 6 a.m. they wake up,
Okay.
and 6 p.m. they get sleep.
So they follow the same thing,
Yeah.
exactly the same.
Same cycle keeps on repeating.
No, but there was time difference will be there. Like I was there before. Like what's that?
Time difference, like, so you can show the time difference. No? We have time on the y-axis. Time difference in opening and closing, you are saying?
It was still like normal day. Like
So you mean to say day 1 was normal, day 2 was normal, day 3 was
no,
normal?
not normal. Like I think I was not like it was not done by me. Like in second day, what I observed is that there is a delay in the opening of the leaves.
That's what I'm asking. There was a delay. So they opened at 7 instead of 6.
Yeah.
Okay?
So with the graph will be like
So that delay is not much now.
Let me show it.
I
Not the delay,
can't
not the
say the
delay.
exact data that.
This is which day? Second day.
Second day.
So the closing was delayed.
The closing also there.
Okay, great.
Closing was outside.
There is a delay.
Very important.
Then what happened on third day? That's where the gold mine, we are getting into the gold now.
So should I draw? Hunger, I
You can use the same
On
back,
third
day 3, yeah.
day 3, there will be a delay in the opening.
Again, how much? Is it the same delay?
I think
Or the delay is even further?
the opening time is like delay to about 8 a.m.
8. So 6. So from 6 it shifted to 7. And then here it shifted to 8. Because earlier date was 7. So 8. Okay, great. Make it big. This also looks like 7 to me. See the graph you have made here. So, great. Yeah. See, the slope of the graph will tell something different. You understand? So if you change the slope, it means they are also starting to open late, and they are also opening slow. So you should not change the slope, the angle. The angle should be same if it's opening late, but it's still taking just 1 hour. Like you say, it takes 1 hour. Still taking. Yeah. So science, all the things are in details. Okay. Then when does it closes? Again late. How late? So in that case, it was 1 hour of shift. It's like I'm running late for the day. I started 1 hour late. Then everything in that day pushed 1 hour later, right? Then next day, it's 2 hours late from the baseline, which was 6. Everything is again 2 hours late. So
Like on that day, also it gets delayed up to 8.
that's day 3. Perfect. What happens on day 4?
Day 4, what happens is that
Molten gold.
it's again there is a delay.
Again 1 hour of delay.
Yeah.
So it starts now at 9. We need to say.
Yes.
Okay.
But
When half of the world is in office or schools,
at that day onwards, I guess she was noting that the leaves are not completely closing like that.
but they are opening. No?
Yes. Yes,
show an
yes.
opening first. Day 4. It should be 9 somewhere. You cannot shift the timeline.
No, sir.
You have to adjust in that. You don't have the power to shift that. Yes. Okay. So that's 9 a.m. Okay, great. Then you are saying that it does not closes from here onwards.
They are not completely closing their lips.
So what's happening?
Don't know actually. She also observed there are some yellowing of leaves on that.
Okay. But what happened to opening closing pattern? You have 5 days data. This is day 4.
Actually, that time also the plants are getting weaker.
Weaker. So
Actually shedding their leaves and all.
So
Color also changed.
So do you hypothesize that light makes plant weaker? Constant light makes plants weaker?
Maybe they get in a stress condition.
Or they are stressed, so they are dying?
I don't know, sir.
Okay, so you have data till here. You are not sure about the data after this.
Okay, so in this data, what we can say that delay, opening is delayed, closing is also delayed. So total period is how much? Time period between all of these.
Like 12 hours, like opening.
And 12 hours closing, which is, so the total period is 24 hours, but it is shifting by every day when you are keeping them in constant light. Will it keep shifting? Let's assume the plants are healthy. If I repeat the experiment with a healthy plant should not, like, normally they should not die in constant light. I think some plants can.
Maybe, I don't think so. It will continue for long.
So what will happen? Yes, exactly. That's what I'm asking. So what do you expect? How long this sliding can go further?
If it is continuing, like around 7 days onwards, I would say that the leaves will be not closed.
Not closed.
But what should be the time between this time, the gap.
12 hours. 12. No, 12. 24 hours.
Actually, it is the opening time.
Between these
This one here.
No. Between the peak, so you reach the peak here. Between this first one is this. What is this time?
how much time?
How much do you think is this time? 24, right? Okay, so I have one thing to add. I have one question to add. If we repeat the same experiment, and after day 4 when we have seen significant shifting, because you see a significant shift and it looks like it will keep on shifting by 1 hour every day. It looks like that. So after day 4, it was in, so can I draw a paradigm here? So let's say we start at day 0. So day 1. This is the first 24 hours. The first 24 hours, we keep them in normal light and dark, which means 12 hours of light and the other 12 hours of dark. Okay? Light, dark. So you will see that the leaf will open, stay open, up down, stay closed. Right? From this point onwards, for 1, 2, 4 days. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. first day, which is normal, we got a rhythm. Second, third, fourth, and fifth day are constant light. So what you are saying is that you will see shifting happening. So it will start here, it goes here. Next time it will start later, seep into the other day. Next time here it will even be later, and it will be, suppose the shift is happening. But at the end of day 5, exactly at 6 a.m., if you switch off the light, you understand? So it was a constant light, but then you switch it off, the light is off again, and from that time onwards, you start following.
Are we following continuous dark?
No, dark light, a normal 12-hour pattern. So what do you see is the question. You understand my question? So when it was constant dark, that was free run. The free runs they were showing shifting according to you. Now exactly after day 5, it was supposed to be the day, right? If we look normally, day, night, day, night, day, night, day, night, day, night, but it was all day for them. This should have been the normal day, but you switched it off. You made that box black. So you reversed day and night for them.
We are following on.
They are
Yeah.
providing continuous light.
Same
So
time,
they
same
can
time.
see the lead, means they can cover and
So can
put
we
it
do
dark.
that
Yes.
outside?
Switch off the light, put it dark.
Put it in dark.
Yeah.
Like cover them. That's all.
What will happen? Will you see?
I think that the time is never.
Never open,
No stars, right? No?
never close.
What was it? She was saying that today itself, today onwards, the leaves are yellow in color, right? Let me.
So if light was the problem, now we are giving them normal daylight.
Sir, here only we are following normal day.
But we have reversed it. When it will be day for us, it will be night for them. When it will be night for us, it will be day for them. But you are bringing them back in the rhythm, but with opposite orientation of day and night. So what I want to ask you is, if this clock is really internal, how will that clock behave from this point onwards? Will it behave like it was behaving here when we did not perturb their day-night? It has a clock. Okay, normally, do you also see this shifting in normal conditions when there is normal light and dark? No, why?
They have the they never shift like that.
Why? That's the question, right? Why do then, if the shifting is internal, if it has nothing to do with light and dark, you proved here that I did 4 days of constant light and they shifted. Every hour they shifted by 1 hour, which means they are not able to sense when is the day ending and when is the next day beginning. But you are saying that it is not dependent on light and dark hues. So it should also shift in the normal light and dark. Why is it not shifting in normal conditions, but it is shifting in just constant light? So these are the questions for you.
What is the control mechanism? Something like that, like that.
Yes, right. The first one will be a control. So what you will figure out is actually, if you do this experiment, what you will figure out is what people talk about, that whether circadian rhythm is only governed by circadian. Circa means a day. Circa means the activities that happen in a day, right? About a day. So if it's only depending on the day and night, or it is also dependent on the internal cues. She knows what is internal, right?
If the different topics say present, okay.
People, we are discussing something very important here. If you are not interested and you have more important things to discuss, no. Discuss it later.
They should discuss with everybody else.
Yeah. More important than this, we will also discuss that. Then we will switch.
So, you know what is internal?
Internal means that some genes will be controlling that.
You talked about TMM4, right?
He has a question.
sunlight use करते हैं means sunlight use करते हैं ना sunlight
He's asking, normally it is sunlight, but now you're using LED, right?
Mainly the blue, red light. So the white light having they're providing this contain the picture like blue like
Violet, indigo, blue.
also red light also
Yeah.
maybe they get
So visible range you are saying.
visible light.
Yes.
Visible range रहेगा वो दोनों में रहता है. You
और शायद लाइट की वजह से भी ऐसा होगा कि नाइट
Yeah, that's really good. I was they have
या ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि प्लांट्स को डिस्ट्रॉय करके रखें उसकी वजह से लो यूज करके सॉइल कर रहे थे
yeah, he's saying that
They store
there is
food
a
when the light is there.
there's a possibility that because of constant light conditions, the photosynthesis is getting affected. And since it is constant light, so what he's saying is there will be a constant or more levels of photosynthesis, so more generation of food.
There are multiple things here. One is the quality of light. So he's questioning that maybe the quality of light is also one of the reasons. You can't simply say it's because of the light. So the second thing, of course, is that continuous heat giving the same light. So both are issues.
So the light we provided may not be sufficient for the
No, it is sufficient. What we are saying is that there can be multiple factors. Okay.
Like this, you can just solve it. You can just solve this.
You can say we are studying under the LED light.
No, but how will you plan it? But even his question can be resolved. So he's saying that the normal light, which is the sunlight, and the light that you are providing with the LED, is having a different effect on the plant. Because of which so this shifting that we are seeing could also be because of the light you are giving. So this is a very simple way to answer his question scientifically and negate that point. Whatever light you are giving, like ma'am said, you will also keep a control. So if you keep two plants, one in a box with that light, and one plant, what you will do? So one plant will always stay in the box with light on. The other plant will stay in the box with light on when it is on, and when night comes, you will take it out of the box and keep it outside where it will be becoming dark naturally. So the only light it is getting is the LED light, both the plants. And the normal plant will still keep behaving normally, which will give answer to his question that light is providing everything required for photosynthesis and it is not affecting the food or survival or food making more food or anything. Right?
You
Will that answer?
can control any factor.
प्लांट जो लो फूड भी स्टोर करके रखते हैं अपने फ्रूट्स इसमें
Right. So that will be same for both the plants. But हम दो plants को same light में रखते हैं. एक plant को रात को बाहर निकालते हैं. So whatever light they are getting to make food, whatever you are saying, वो तो same रहेगा. सिर्फ एक में change देखा, एक में कोई change नहीं देखा. तो इसका मतलब ये है कि वो change light की वजह से नहीं. तो light दोनों को same मिला. It is something regarding what she is saying, internal.
So you can control any factor. Okay, just you need a control.
बाहर निकालने के लिए स्विच ऑफ क्या करना है
दूसरे वाले की switch off हो जाएगा.
हां दूसरा कार्ड में रहेगा कंटेनर
हाँ, you can keep two cards. I was just saying if you just want to make one setup, just take with the other one.
So I mean, if you really want to take it off, because this is an explanation. So it can running for a few months. So one possibility could be that you never expose them to sun. Always expose all the time to the same light conditions. That means it's an experimental setup anyway. So you start from the germination of the seed till they become adult plants. They are all growing in a fixed light condition.
Okay, from their germination.
So they are never exposed to sun. Right? They are always in the room.
By providing this light.
Yeah. So during the daytime, so you can do one set of experiments with daylight switching exactly when the day is outside. You provide LED light switching. And you do the experiment. The other parts continuously provide light. See, so if you look at it, what is it that we are doing? We are asking you to design multiple experimental designs. I mean, different setups. And then, what is the relation between what you are observing and what you are conditioning?
Do we need to observe the normal kind of normal?
You have to record, of course, all the observations. And then you have to, you see, essentially what scientists try to do is that whatever conclusion you are drawing is legitimate. Must be reasonable. And it must be replicated. In the sense that if you have done this study, let's say in Canada, it will be replicated in Mumbai as well as Bangalore as well as some other places. So the description of the experimental setup and exactly what you are doing, it is repeatable in home lab kind of setting. Okay, which means that you also have to be in terms of not too sophisticated requirements for your lab. So that's why I was talking about instead of rooms, which may not everybody may not afford to have rooms, think of boxes. Why is watering difficult? You can always put a small irrigation tube or something like that to water the plants. From outside itself, you can water the plant with the pipe. You don't have to open.
Don't make it big, and you will not need a huge setup, right? You can take it with a shoebox.
And that is when we really want to ask this question. That is when you can also do it. Then you have to. I mean, you come to our experimental areas, scientists are not just thinking only about science, they are actually also designing experiments, that means they are actually engineering the environment. So we have to do all those things. The scientists are not people biologists, they are engineers, they are mathematicians, they are going to do everything.
Yes, but when we provide.
The mic will help to hear properly. Do we need this mic?
No.
Sure.
What if the mic can go down the room?
Yeah, it can. So you can turn on the fan, I think.
Oh my God.
Then we'll
One fan,
have
all
to
fans
keep,
have one switch.
keep switching, giving each
The
other.
mic, yeah.
So only one people with one person with this arm.
This also sounds like, with mic and without mic, with mic and without mic. I'm getting busy.
Should I? Okay.
यहाँ पे हो गया.
I think it's so different.
Yeah. Yeah, they actually, somebody came from outside and closed up. Working, then he closed up. That would be one more second. See, that's a question, you're asking a very good question. So would it be the heat of sunlight that would be one of the factors and not the light? So that's why he's talking about the halogen lamp instead of LED lamp. Because LED lamp is cool, but it gives light. It doesn't generate as much heat as a normal halogen lamp. So that could be another.
So, but how do we first of this? Suppose I have a box here, and I put Phyllanthus cat on it. So how do I keep that light, or how do I make it like put the light?
How have we identified the heat factor?
Or we can put on the side.
See, when scientists do experiments, you are and you should think like a scientist. Because you are a scientist, you are doing science, you are a scientist, right? If you are doing some other thing, you are doing that is, you are a scientist. So how do scientists, because these questions are real world challenging questions, right? And you cannot control for everything. So his question is a good point and a caveat. The caveat is, first I'll talk about the caveat. To change a halogen bulb. Halogen bulb is not a source of white light. Sun is a source of white light. Halogen has a more yellow spectrum, right? It doesn't have the green spectrum at all. So, and for photosynthesis, we know that chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B also, they both absorb in the bluish greenish spectrum. Right? You understand? So you can just say that if you give a halogen light to a plant and see its developmental growth, it won't be a natural setup. It won't mimic a natural setup. It will give heat for sure, but it won't mimic a natural setup. A white light will mimic a natural setup better because it has all. And we know chlorophyll A absorbs around 460, which is like in the greenish spectrum, which halogen light cannot provide. So that's one thing that, so that's what we do. We can answer some questions without even doing, based on prior knowledge. Second thing is temperature. That's a very good point. Can temperature be affecting? Because sun gives a lot of heat. Will temperature be affecting this closing and opening thing? So that also you can discuss, argue, saying that this closing and opening happens in all seasons. Right? It happens in summers when the temperature is high. It happens in winters when the temperature is low. It happens in rains when the temperature is low. It happens in spring if your place in the spring. So it's not like it only happens in summers or on a sunny day. It will not happen on a rainy day. It will happen on every day, right? So you can also argue that heat might not be that big of a factor. And even if it is, your first objective could be to study the effect of light itself. And then you can go one step further in a next parallel experiment to study the effect of heat. You understand? So you understand what this question was, why it was important, and what it would have answered.
Like providing halogen light.
We are facing problems in the LED light of opening and wait time and the sleep time. You might change the slide source. Instead of that LED, how we have plugged the LED, just replace it with normal one, the halogen.
But that won't give sunlight.
Here I'm not talking about sunlight, how the sun color light. Here just I'm talking about the heat mix. It might differ out of 2 to 3 things.
So you are saying that heat will be one reason for closing and opening. Then why is it not just close and open in winters? Winters there is no heat, right? Surrounding heat is very low.
But if you
In nature, still it opens and closes. Doesn't that give you a pain? So if a plant is behaving same in a less temperature and a high temperature, what does it smelling? It tells you that it's not temperature dependent. Doesn't it? Then we don't have to worry about temperature much. All we have to worry about is the plant should get all the wavelengths that it normally gets from the sun, so that it can pick from that whatever it wants. Then we have to switch to a white light source, is what sounds more. Do you understand what this guy says?
So what about the northern part of the hemisphere? Like let's say Germany, Sweden, or something like that. You know where the The day-night cycles are not like 12 hours. So the day could be just 5 hours, 6 hours. The rest is all night. So I'm sure somebody might have already observed it. So if you search and find out on the net, so what do these plants that behave in the northern hemisphere? Did you?
But I didn't find references to that.
What did you find?
Yeah, but
No, but did you search?
you search, you will find.
Like I
Any plant what is their open closing behavior in northern hemisphere? It could be even northern Canada, it could be
like other plants, other
First, you have to find if Phyllanthus grows there.
yeah.
Does where do we what is this information is easily
We're not talking about the longitudinal part, we're talking about the latitude.
yeah.
The upper latitudes. Above the equator. Above the equator.
So as I told about the poles,
Also, the temperature will be more cooler.
even the
Poles, you can near to that those countries which are present. And Sudan and others. What will happen there?
first thing is Phyllanthus grows there. To what latitude you can see Phyllanthus growing. I'm
Yeah,
sure
but
if
it doesn't have to be Phyllanthus is my point.
yeah.
It could be any leguminous plant that has this behavior. So then what happens for search reasons? See, what the point is already raised. But nobody has done this study on Phyllanthus. I agree that novelty is not sufficient to legitimize, the amount of time that you're studying on Phyllanthus. So it could be any opening, because it's all about the opening and closing behavior of plants. Not all plants have this, but some plants have this. So use that as an interesting model system to study this chronobiology. So you have more plants to study. So they must have studied some of the plants. Like, for example, I'm just going over it now. So take the case of any of the pulse producing plants. Okay, all of them are legumes. So they all have the closing and opening behavior. Right? All mimosae plants are there. So for example, which mimosae species plants actually grow in the northern hemisphere? And find out what actually happens. Because during the winter, they only have in maximum 4 hours, 6 hours daytime. And in the summer, for example, they have like almost 14 hours of daytime, 14, 16 hours of daytime. 18, yeah, in some places. 18 hours. So it's like at 11 o'clock, the sun sets in the night. And then wake up will be again like 3 o'clock. So there's very little time for them. So how do plants behave in that kind of thing? I think if you search carefully and without referring to Phyllanthus, okay, you may find some experiments or at least observations that you can done. So that might actually help us to ask the right research questions. Not you will search, obviously, and we'll also do this. And we'll start posting. I think it's a very doable, homeland kind of thing. See, what we're doing is something interesting. It's not just that we're doing anything that comes up. We are actually trying to innovate on things that we can do at home. And do proper exposure to research methodology before you graduate. And we are saying that it's possible. It is indeed possible to do it. See, so much all the kind of discussions that we are doing is something that will happen in VidyaVihar and IITs and IISs all the time. This is the kind of discussion we do, about these set of experiments and all that stuff. So, thank you so much for such a great If you have a new idea, you want to do it, okay, now how do I create a new experiment? Think about a new factor, think about a new experiment. And like, for example, setting up an LED light, suppose you don't know how to do it. What if LED light is cool for a room, but if you put it in a box, maybe it will happen. So again, then you have to become an engineer. You have to find out how much of radiation is there, how much of cooling is to be provided. All those things you have to do. And this is what scientists see all the time in their labs.
You will also realize that if you choose a small box and a big LED, then the intensity of light can also do phototoxicity to plants. It's not like whatever intensity you want to give plants will take it. They will just die in a few.
Intensity of light should be given like that.
So you have to also choose the light bulb and the space that you want to enclose properly. But that is all what Ian is saying is science. When we do an experiment, it's not like we do. So there are two kinds of experiments. One, a thought experiment where you keep all the controls in the head. So most of the cosmologists, Einstein did lots of thought experiments where he regulated things. But biologists, when they do experiments, they have to actually keep control right there. That you cannot just assume that okay, I think the light is okay. The light might not be okay for a plant. It might cause phototoxicity. It might be suboptimal for the plant to grow. But that's where it's interested. If you start from germination onwards, you will also get to know if the plant is at all growing in that setup or not.
So from the start of germination onwards, we should observe continuous.
No, that was one idea.
Yeah.
So you don't have to say.
You can parallelly start with this.
Yeah.
So we can start with normal Phyllanthus plant, like grown up Phyllanthus plant.
I mean, first thing that you can do is create a small box, which all four sides are covered. Bottom anyway is covered, that you don't have to do anything. On the top, you can put a lid, which can be opened and closed. In some, you never open it. In some, you keep it opening in rhythm with the regular.
But how do we take the measurement like how do we take?
So that's the question. So how do we take a measurement if the box is closed? Can we anywhere do it? How can you take measurements when box is closed? All the time. But there is light inside. So can anybody tell me?
There is light inside.
Can we take
Light
a
is inside
box?
the box.
Can
Not
we take
that
a
matter,
box
you just
and
open the box and see, because light is anyways. See, when you open the lid, the chances are you will contaminate with light going in, right? So the only problem is you don't want light to be in, but light can go in. That's why you're closing it. But when there's already light inside, it's not like you'll open the box and darkness will go in.
So the problem is with that in the night time, you want to keep the light. And that light should not affect the other plants in the room. So that's why you want to keep a well-lit box. You have to create a well-lit box.
Take the reading first from the well-lit box and keep the other one where you are following a normal day-night close. So and then when you are taking the reading from that one, how do you take it in dark?
So one suggestion is, suppose you have a cheap mobile or some old mobile or whatever, just take a picture every 1 hour and keep that mobile inside. So that will correct it. Keep on opening and closing it.
Without flashing the light, without using flash.
You are not touching the light. Not the flash. Light is a separate source. It is just for data recording. Because you have to see whether the leaves are closing or not. You don't have to use it. For that, we just take it.
If you are continuously placing that inside the box, suppose if you put placing the phone inside,
Yeah, keep the phone inside. And the phone will automatically take a picture every 1 hour.
but at the charging,
That's it. It's a wire now. Charging will be done from outside. It's connected to maybe a USB external drive. You can connect it. It's not for 2 years.
It's all together.
How many?
So these are giving problems of conducting an experiment. These are the kind of things that we do in the labs. So you can think about all of them. All of them. So you should use the existing technology that we already have. Like mobile phones is a fantastic thing. It's a computer. You can program it. In fact, if you don't want 1 hour, if you want it every half an hour, you can reprogram it and then take a picture every half an hour. And if you really want to take snapshots, you can do it. So that you can get a time lapse photography after that.
Like a time lapse.
So the data collection doesn't mean only that you have to observe something. Picture can also be a source of data. The video can be a data collection.
I think this experiment we can perform in our home. So we will take initiative to do that experiment in our home labs.
Yeah, how many collaborators you have at your home?
In my home, my father.
Your father and you. And then, are there any other things that you are able to infect? Because you are supposed to infect other people.
Within my home, sir, or in our Phyllanthus group.
No, Phyllanthus group I know. There are a lot of people. But every person who is doing, they are doing the experiments at their home. Or in their college, depending on. So if you are doing it alone, maybe you may find it boring. I'm just looking at the other factors. So you should have a small team around your house. Would be interested to solve this. So maybe some brother, maybe some cousin who will also be able to do all the other engineering things and also.
I think we cannot take the
That would be very good. But I will also start. I try to set up a small box experiment.
Great, you got a collaborator.
But I will certainly not. I will do some other like simply because most levels can grow much faster. And it's so easy and I have so many seeds and I don't have to ask few bits because they have been asking for seeds and they're not sending me. So it's better that I depend on someone. Because all the time I mean just opening and closing behavior, any plant that I have it doesn't have to be.
Do you think any other people will also be like all of them?
What are the other business plans? Like people are also having that behavior. But it's not like toxic behavior, their leaves position will be changing.
It may be like actually.
Their position, the opening and closing position will be changed every year. Not like in Phyllanthus, the oxalis plant also do this.
Oxalis.
Oxalis. And like what we can do, the big plant is doing, and the plant.
Biophyton.
Biophyton, before the Snippy, I don't know what's the name of that. Their positioning is like this way. Like here, here. So each plant having different type of behavior and opening.
I mean, there's a lot of possibilities here. The other possibility is also translation. Translation.
The loss of part.
No, translation is not the basis of the
So
So we talk later. Okay. So next batch.
Okay, that's great. That's great.
Now we have a great presentation with the Phyllanthus group. We understood that how easily available plant is this. They today came with the identification of plants by collecting this plant from surroundings, and they made a group and they introduced what all research questions are they are addressing. How is light play any role for the confirmation, for proving their hypothesis. Let's all join with us as a collaborators, and let's continue the discussion in contextual curriculum group, and let's continue to this. We can follow this. Thank you, Phyllanthus group presentation. Okay, now, so next we have dogs presentation. Today,
Dogs.
Yes, something. Okay, so for presentation, I am inviting Swaha, Lakshmi, Anu, and me. Okay, so all of you please come. Please come. Come, please come.
Yeah, दिखाई करेगा.
Do you have vendors? You have.
It's live.
But you can on some of the fans. That noise, background noise.
Yes.
You can say sleep studies in dogs, something like that.
That's the one system, but what is the
Biological rhythm.
dog sleep?
Yeah, dogs sleep actually.
Like sleeping dogs before sleeping.
No, but
Okay, so we heard about how Phyllanthus group presented about their circadian rhythm. Likewise, I believe that most of us have pet dogs with us. Likewise, here in Cube, we are trying to analyze their circadian rhythm. Like if we take our case, we know that we sleep at night and wake up at daytime. So if we think of the circadian rhythm in street dogs versus pet dogs, how it behaves? Is there any connection between these two dogs, like street dogs versus pet dogs? So this is our the first model system after we are introducing Cube National Meet 2022. So we made a preliminary study about the street dogs versus pet dogs. So I am inviting Swaha to present her work that she did in her locality, and this is Jalpaiguri.
Jalpaiguri, West Bengal.
Yes.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Swaha, Cube Jalpaiguri, and I did study on sleep wake pattern of street dogs in my locality, and I had focused on 10 particular street dogs of my locality. At first, I had a hypothesis whether street dogs do have a sleep wake pattern because
Is it 10?
yeah,
Can you identify all 10?
yeah,
Have you named them?
yes. So as I was going on, so I studied the sleep wake pattern. At first, I had the hypothesis like whether do street dogs have a sleep wake pattern. I wasn't sure. Like we have a pattern. We walk at certain time. We sleep. We wake up at certain time. But I had a confusion whether do street dogs follow such pattern or not. And after observing them, I got to know yes, they also have a sleep wake pattern. So from my study, I got to know street dogs are mostly awake at night time when we generally sleep. Us humans will be sleeping at night, whereas those street dogs will be awake, moving around, will be playful, and will have their gala time around that time. Whereas in the morning from 6 to 10 a.m., where we all basically go for a walk or we do other activities, they will go back to their sleep. So from a 24-hour time period, I found a whole cycle where they are falling in sleep, where they are waking up. I found that their sleep wake pattern is not continuous. They are following a discontinuous pattern where they are sleeping for 9 hours and are awake for the next 15 hours. I found out that street dogs are awake from 6 to 10 a.m. in the morning 10 to 12 p.m. in the noon, they are sleeping. 10 to 12 p.m. in the noon, they are awake. From 12 to 1:30, they are sleeping. From 1:30 to 2:30, they are awake. In that time, I have seen them generally finding their food or having, or someone is feeding them. From 2:30 to 3, they are going for the shortest nap in my observation. Like a mini power nap they are taking. From 3 to 5, they are awake. From 5 to 8, they are going for a sleep. That's more like a power boost nap. After that, they are awake for the whole night from 8 to next day 6 a.m. That's from my observation of street dogs.
Sorry for the interruption. So instead of having a tea break, we serving the tea here.
Yeah,
Is it
that's
okay?
good. Yes. Continue.
So how many hours is
So
it?
all of you just pass it, okay?
So this observation from the
So street dogs.
this is
Street dogs.
No, it was what is on the x-axis and y-axis? On the x-axis, what is there?
Pita.
X-axis is time.
Okay, so here she is trying to describe about her observation that she made in her village. About 10 dogs she had observed and almost 6 months period she observed. And she also made a graph using the time as well as the activity. So activeness we are represented by 1 and street we are represented by 0.
Okay.
Okay, so as per she is drawing the graph, we can see the graph is in x-axis 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. the dogs are sleeping. 10 a.m. 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. the dogs are normally sleeping, and 10 a.m.
अब जाओगे ध्यान देख
10 a.m. to 12 p.m. they are active. And again they are taking a small nap between 12 p.m. to 1:30 to 12 p.m. to 1:30 the dogs are taking small nap, and 1:30 to 2:30 they are awaiting and they are active.
So while they're sleeping, can I ask, how do you know the dog is sleeping or how do you know it?
Yes, sir. So here we are mainly focused on their eyes closing. But here when we go to the literature, mainly they are looking for their resting and standing behavior. So standing behavior they are represented as activeness, and resting behavior they are sitting down, and that behavior they consider as sleeping. But here we are mainly focusing on based on their eyes they are
Yeah,
closing.
no, so you told me 0 and 1, which is either they're sleeping or they're not.
That's what
This is a very difficult kind of classification for dogs. You know, for example, I have a dog which closes her eyes, but if a dog actually is very lazy, she will only wag the tail, she doesn't close her eyes. But she's wagging the tail, so is it awake or sleeping? She is not opening the eyes.
So that should be focused
I mean, I'm just telling you that, okay, I learned it. So what? You know, she's not opening the eyes. She just wagging the tail. Your indication that somebody called it.
So whenever I observe in street dogs, even if I am passing them or even there is a movement, they are not moving. They are sleeping. They are in deep sleep. I have clicked pictures, I have videos of that sleeping time. If with food movements also, when they are sleeping, they are complete in rest position, like us.
Yeah, sleep position I can understand. That there is a but then between the sleep and then very active position, there are so many shapes. There are so many equivalent states. I'm not suggesting that. I'm just asking you to also, because it might come because you are interested in this. Organism hospital. Okay, this is fantastic. Because there are a lot of dogs around and it's not happening. But it's also good to know the names people use to code their behavior. And coding the behavior to understand. Like for example, okay, sitting can also be in multiple postures. Sleeping can also be in multiple postures. Right? So you can actually have codes for that. So that your data is much more useful. So when they are in the beach, do all their dogs have the same posture? Or does it change?
So it changes.
But so how do you know when in all the postures they are being used? Or breed also change from breed to breed? You don't have to answer that.
So yeah,
But
now
I'm
we
just saying
can.
that it's a good idea to have the codes. When you take it from some of our friends who are actually doing dog training, so you take help from them and find out what kind of codes they use when they are observing dogs. This kind of behavior watch can actually be serious threats.
And one more thing, Kirta, this I want to know whether the male and female show the similar pattern or they vary.
Ma'am, our observation is random, like we not specifying to
Okay,
male, female.
you are saying like that, 10 dogs or 12 dogs like that. So, what about the number? All are male or half male, half female? You haven't checked that.
That's what we
What about the adults as well as versus puppies? No.
randomly take the observation they are sleeping or not. So these factors should be affected. That's what ma'am.
Which one sleeps more? Whether the street dogs or pet dogs?
Street
Street
dogs.
dogs. Street dogs sleep more because they are getting more comforted.
My pet dog always.
Why? You say street dogs.
You call like, I have a question. Like if a dog is there and it is resting, do you call it is resting or it is sleeping? How do you differentiate between the rest and the sleep?
That is the same the terminology we using should be analyzed. How we are recording this for sleep and not
So currently what are you like, what is your criteria?
Currently, I have taken the eye movement, maybe. They are crossing in sleep.
So just like leaf opening
So I have done the alert test.
Yeah, you have done with other.
Alert test.
Okay, next. Can you explain that?
With resting and sleeping, like when they are resting, if we move, like we can see from that 233, that small period of power nap. Like if in that period, like the dogs are basically sleeping, but it is in an alert position. If we move around, with them, or if we like poke them, or if we try to like get in their space, they will respond back. But if we see the case from 6 to 10 a.m. or from 5 to 8 p.m., that's not the case. They will be completely sleeping. They are not bothered by the weather conditions. They are not bothered by loud honkings. They are not bothered by anything. And I have seen them in different positions, like in front of meat shops, in busy crowded streets, in railway stations, in isolated streets, And from my observation, I can see like from the time period which are long are the ones where they're in deep sleep. They won't respond to anything. They're completely sleeping. When the time period is shorter during the daytime, they are though they are sleeping, but they are in an alert kind of position. And in the daytime, I think somewhere they are more relaxed. They don't think of their locality. Whereas during the night time, they go in a very protective or a guarded way. They try to protect their area and locality. And in case of street dogs, I've seen if pet dogs tend to get in their area, they don't like it. They start to have a fight or have a verbal, like some kind of barking type of communication between both. Like in my locality, I've seen the street dogs shooing away the pet dogs. They don't like them.
They're jealous of the privileges.
So, alertness, do you think that alertness can be a better criteria than closing and opening of eyes?
Yes.
Why?
Because while closing and opening of eyes, when I saw that I wasn't sure. Because while opening their eyes also sometimes they don't respond to you. And when their eyes are closed and if you move around them, they are alert.
Yeah.
They will get out, like they will get away. They will become active and they will respond to you. So I think the alertness is more of a specific term. To like when we study the sleep wake pattern, I think alertness should be focused.
So alertness means you are saying that even if you walk like around or you try to disturb maybe
Yes.
around some noise or
Yeah.
something is there, still they will be not moving.
Yeah.
Is that an idea?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah,
But don't you think when you are checking for alertness, you are actually disrupting the sleep? Suppose you went to check alertness whether the dog was sleeping or not. You walked past it. Since you cannot control your walking steps intensity, you cannot control the touch intensity. Depends on how big or small the dog is, what posture it's sleeping in, what point of the body you are touching. So if you touch or you walk past and the dog just woke up, maybe it is the threshold. It was the threshold at which a sleeping dog can wake up, but you can just get a false positive result that it was not sleeping because it was alert. What if it was waking up, not alertness? When I walked past the dog was actually sleeping. But when I walked past, it woke up. Because that threshold was enough, the sound of my foot or it was enough to wake the dog from a sleep state. Will you count it as sleeping or will you count it as wake because it was alert?
So is the thing that whether sleeping, checking alertness in the sleep is a better thing or checking the alertness when they wake up? Wake up is a better thing.
But they are waking, they are alert.
Yeah, so alertness is like
Alertness is when they are awake.
awake. How do you measure the
When they are awake, we can know that the problem is not figuring out whether it's awake or not. The problem is figuring out whether it's asleep or not. Awake is like a positive reinforced result. So when you see something awake, you know that it's awake. You don't have to prove that it's awake. But you have to prove that it's asleep because sleep can also be confused with inactivity. A wakeful inactivity. Understand? So that's where in the morning we were discussing, and I come from a sleep behavior lab myself. So there are some hallmarks that we look for, and I would like students to think that how you can check for those hallmarks in dogs without actually affecting their sleep if they are sleeping. So first thing is, as we discussed, sleep is it's a state of inactivity because the first criteria should be fulfilled. It should be inactive. So most of our photos show that they are at one place and they are not moving around. So that gets fulfilled. Second is the threshold is increased. So that's what I think you are trying to do with your alertness test. But for that we first have to know, for each of your dogs, there are 10 dogs, what is the threshold when they were awake and what was the threshold when they are asleep. So it could be something like a sound from a distance is better.
The car honking.
Huh?
Car honking might be.
You can't. Then you have to move around with a car.
Yeah.
You can use a whistle.
Yeah. Yes.
So use a whistle which is audible to humans. And so these kind of whistles come where you cannot increase the intensity of whistle. There are fixed intensity whistles. Like you blow and it will cause a sound. Or even very simple thing is you have tone generators on. If you just go on Google and write a tone generator, you can search tone generator. And this is how one group actually conducted a study, and it's a scientifically peer-reviewed study. So keep the volume of your phone always full. Okay, then so that should not be a parameter which is fluctuating. You search on Google tone generator, and you put a frequency. Suppose 200 hertz. There you are also doing quantitative biology. So you set 200 hertz. I'll show you now as a demo if it works and it allows me. So let's do this. So I went to a tone generator. The volume of my phone is full. You can take any tone generator because most of them work on frequencies. Already set at 440 hertz, which I can change. In fact, someone is playing already. Who is it? Very good. So if I play a 440 hertz at full 100% volume here and in my phone, I have standardized it, right? Now let's see what it sounds like. Okay, that's 440 hertz. Let me increase it to, let's say, 700 hertz. It's 700 hertz. Similarly, 1000, 2000 hertz, right? Your ears won't get fried because it's limited by the output of your phone. But you understand what I'm talking about. And then you decide a safe distance, how to switch it off. Then you decide a distance, a fixed distance, which need not to be exactly measured and fixed, but let's say 10 steps away from the dog, where my presence will not wake up the dog, but a tone can travel to that point. Then you go, you see a awake dog, and the distance should be what you can maintain with both with a awake dog and a sleeping dog. Then you approach that minimum distance, you turn that sound on, and if the dog hears in a wake state, it will respond. So you know that, oh, at this point they respond when they are awake. Then you have to do some standardizations. Find a sleeping dog. Again, go to that close approach. What you decided, 10 steps, 20 steps, right? But it should be fixed all the time, more or less fixed. Then you start with 100 hertz for 5 seconds. You see no response, which means this is not enough to wake it up. Then you do 100, 5 seconds. Time is also contained, your frequency is also contained. This is also not enough to wake it up. Then you increase, and let's say at 800, it woke up. So you know that 800 is enough to wake up a dog from sleep. You understand? So now you know every time you want to prove that a dog is sleeping versus awake, you go and play a sound at 700 or 600. It will not wake up. So you prove that the threshold, and I'm sure that when it was awake, it will respond at, let's say, at 400 hertz, but when it is asleep, it will respond at 600 or 700 hertz. So when it is asleep, you go and play a 400 hertz sound, tone. It should have responded if it was awake. If it does not respond, it means it is. That is one hallmark you check for sleep, because the threshold is increased. The only caveat in this experiment is if the dog really wants to give you a wrong data. The dog is not sleeping, but the dog decided to mess up with your data. Chances are very low, because why will a dog do?
The other possibility is habituation.
Right.
They get habituated after some time. They need 900, not 600. So we have to find out how this is.
Habituation.
What I wanted to say is what Ram is saying is very interesting. Because this is the way how your experimental approach of the manipulation of what you are controlling should be such that the same experiment that you are doing at one location can also be done in some other. When you are giving us the criteria, what is the criteria to decide whether it is sleeping or not? So, even if you fail initially, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Do it till you explore, because the scientist life is like that. Until you find the criteria, just let me tell you, the moment you know that this is the criteria that works at all places, it's a publishable paper in Nature. It's not a joke to think that it's the criteria whether it's sleeping or not is not something simple. Physiologically, we know. You put all the the dog put some neural wiring and things like that. Then you would be very easily able to find out whether it's sleeping or not. Or maybe you put a watch kind of thing on the body. Then the watch will explain whether the dog is sleeping or not. So, but these are like experiments that are too close because you are working with a similar set of dogs, but not extreme dogs. So they are definitely working. So it's not easy to find.
See, none of the experimental paradigms in science, whether those which are published in Nature, are foolproof and 100% accurate. Every experiment you can find one or the other caveat, but then they keep a control to say that if this was the caveat, this would have worked. So if, let's say, this was 5% was the error in my experiment, the same 5% error would also would have happened during control readings. So it gets nullified, like it gets taken care of. And if you still see a different response in both, for example, when you will be going around and figuring out what tone it is, you will see that some dogs, a set frequency for dog 1 at which it is not awaking might not be the same for dog 2. So that's where I asked, in your case, because dogs are, and as we go up high in the order, n equal to 5 is a significant number. If you even do an experiment on 5 humans or 5 dogs, it's as good as doing on 1,000 or something. Because you actually are taking care of individual biases that might come up. So you may have to set it for all the 10. And it's a tedious job, but this is the more closest, perfect approach to do science, where all these questions you can tackle, that how are you sure that it was sleeping? So you can see that we did this kind of experiment, and this tells us that they are sleeping, and these ones are not sleeping. Instead of just saying opening, closing eyes, folding of Phyllanthus leaves. Because I have a video I was searching, I could not find. In VidyaVihar we had a dog which used to live in VidyaVihar. It was a favorite dog of VidyaVihar. Everyone used to feed him and love him. One day I just saw that dog. It was sleeping. Ask me later how do I know it was sleeping. It was sleeping, let's assume what I'm saying is true. But it was actively moving its paws and sniffing. You understand? The nose, the mouth, the muscles of the mouth was moving, and it was actively doing this. So as if in dreams it's digging up a place to sleep. It was already sleeping, and in the sleep it was digging up a clean place to sleep, maybe in dreams. We don't know what's happening there unless and until you put an electrode. But how I know it was sleeping is because, as I told you, it was a dog in VidyaVihar, so I always used to do this. Okay, and I'll whistle like the best I can whistle, and I'll do this, and it will always respond to it. So I did this, and it was not responding. That made me believe that it was sleeping, but still it was showing some active movement. It's like the REM sleep that we are in, where our muscles twitch and our eyes. So maybe it was in REM sleep. But there are some standard ways to approach this sleep. And there is already data for pet dogs, like someone of you only shared in the group. Who did that? The paper, the nature paper. It's a nature paper, right? And what they did was a very simple technique of normalizing the data and making it, like testing it statistically. They had lots of data, they just tested statistically, and because it was consistent, I was looking at the same paper here. They have made good plots and graphs, and it's in nature. Here. So it says a functional linear modeling approach to sleep-wake cycles in dog. It's a modeling, it's mathematical modeling based on statistics bent in nature. Right?
Sir, is there any specific frequencies already there to analyze if it is sleeping?
I don't know about dogs. You have to find it. Yeah, if anyone has figured out the frequency already, then I know about Drosophila, but not about dogs.
So is there a distance we are applying to something?
Again, it was just an idea. Like, I don't know about the distance or the frequency. That if you people figure it out, then it's your finding, and like Zian said,
that's exactly what Jay was saying. That is your work. That's an interesting work that you have to do. If you are able to define that criteria, it is worth publishing, right? So you are the ones, you are the heroes here.
And there has been published, people have published from cubes in past. You have
Other products.
right, on other projects. So don't think like we are just encouraging you before the end of the day to feel good. It's real
But
science.
see, this is actually very interesting because they are accessible, they are available. But we haven't studied and we don't have many papers research on that.
Right.
And another interesting model system of that kind is Pro. Pro's behavior is supposed to be more sophisticated than most products because they are capable of solving multiple problems in their environment. So they have problem solving abilities, they are very intelligent. They use tools in the environment. So in that sense, they have already grown much beyond many other animals in terms of tool use and intelligent way of solving, and also cunning behavior with human beings and other fellow crows also. For example, crows hide things. The hiding behavior is considered one of the highest cognitive capacities. Like human beings are the liars. Only the lying animal, you can actually call it as a glorified lying animal in the world. That's a human being. So same way, the crows also lie was an interesting thing when we came to know. Because Arjun and we have seen crows lie. And hiding also. And these are something that you see among monkeys, which is like interesting for us to see. So I'm sure that all of us have crows around us. It's not just mango plants. So it's important to, even if you are not actually doing the study, if you see something interesting, share it with everybody. So that one day, somebody will take interest and actually do a pro as a model system for, the behavior studies like this. For example, if anybody knows about it, let me know. I still don't know how to distinguish a male crow from female. If anybody knows, so we are talking about so many things, like simple things, like even ornithologists will not tell you, they will not know how to distinguish, because they both similar, right? So how do you know which is male and which is female? So the question is, why did they adopt that kind of model? It's a very interesting thing. So some people say it's because they are very private creatures in a sense. Because nobody has seen a mating crow ever being filmed very well. And crows are everywhere. But you haven't seen a log-having crow actually evolve. So why is it that why is it that animal actually developed this kind of animal behavior? We don't know. So there's a lot of things that we can do as humans in the country. For Indians, crow is everywhere. Dogs are everywhere. Street dogs as well as pet dogs. And cats and things like that. So we have lots of model systems that update and produce a lot of model systems. And I think this is the story that I always like is that the zebrafish is a model of this. Right? All of you know that zebrafish is a model of this. But it is invented from Indian rivers, not by an Indian biologist. Okay, so a German came for actually as a tourist, walking on the Ganges and found a fish and then found a very interesting, very interesting thing. Because the zoologist could like it. She took samples of that fish back home and started breeding. So, zebrafish are Indian fish, but Indian scientists are not creating model systems of their own. If that was the case, for example, we would have actually created carbon as a model system long ago by Indian botanists. But it's only after that tropical thing, what's it called? Arabidopsis became so popular, then people said that something like this actually exists. In the northeast, people use it for cooking. To do what is called chutney. Yeah, it's a edible plant, right? So people use it everywhere. So why is it that some of these existing plants have never become model systems? It's a big question. That's because we don't have STEM culture in the country. We are consumers of science, but we are not producing science. So So it will be designed for that. So that's why what you're doing is excellent initiative. I think you should keep sleeping around. I'm just joking because why am I saying this? Because you have to obsessively with them. You know, you have to be with them to sleep with them, wake up with them, and become like them. see, this is what people laugh at you because that means you have developed a model person that is needed for becoming a scientist. Okay, so you have to infect that model person. People kept on joking like this. You know, a lot of people have done this kind of program. So observation and key observations of this kind. Who knows, one day there will be a very. So I think one of the main problems for you is identifying that criteria. I think that's a problem which I think now is setting very nicely. Find out the threshold behavior or a threshold input which sort of, I mean, you need to find out the response times and things like that. It could be sound, it could be affection. But dogs are very good in affection. They are also good in sound as well as in affection.
There's a saying in Sanskrit, Swan Mitra. You know about Swan? Swan is the word used for dogs. They call it Swan Mitra. Means sleep like a dog, which means like sleep dogs. Yes, so dogs. A lot of people are interested in understanding sleep of dogs, especially as pack hunters and predators. But because of limited resources and ethical issues, we cannot do invasive, we cannot put electrodes in the brain. It's mostly behavioral. And when you do behavioral studies, you decide your own criteria. So this paper, I think we can continue discussing in the group, because what they have done is not some rocket science. It's very simple modeling where you fit in all the data in terms of minutes per hour and then we generate things for you. And I think the FLM data is also open access as they are saying. So we can try the same on our street dogs data. Given that, we should have fixed criteria to distinguish something as sleep and something as wake. If you do that, then we can get the data. We can try modeling of this kind. We can try comparing what happens to pet dogs versus stray dogs. And then we can ask a question that domestication of dogs as pet dogs has made how it has made them different from the stray dogs. Because they also start their papers. In science, what matters more is how you are packing your work. So I can do a very fabulous work, but I cannot convey to the world what to think. Okay, Mendel. What Mendel did was amazing. No one figured out what he did for 50 years. And after 50 years, then Hugo de Vries figured it out and said, oh my God, what he did was amazing. Because Mendel could not reach out to people, he could not publicize his work, he could not make biologists believe what he did was actually the foundation of genetics. So a lot of such work can be done, but so what they say is, the study of companion dogs is an area of great potential as they share a risk for many conditions that afflict humans because dogs are living with humans in their homes. So studying dogs can also give us hints of what problems humans might face in their sleep and wake cycles. So they just connected it to humans and nature published it. You can also just connect it to evolution of domesticated dog to undomesticated dogs. You understand what I'm saying? Let's do it.
तो पूरे टाइम पे हम लोग इस पे अब क्या छुपे स्टॉप स्ट्रीमिंग कर दो स्टॉप स्ट्रीमिंग
tomorrow like at what time they should
सही बात
in which hall
स्टॉप स्ट्रीमिंग
नहीं अभी आशुतोष को करने दो
गरम हो रहा है कर दिया स्टॉप नहीं आप अब क्या करते हैं सर अनाउंसमेंट देंगे
Okay, wait. Just announce for tomorrow so that before we leave, we are all clear as to what time to come, where to assemble and all. So tomorrow we will start the day at 9:30. The place that we meet, the venue that we meet is the conference room. So if you, you have to be aware that in the same building we have two colleges. One is the Science and Commerce College and the other is the Arts and Commerce College. Okay. So the Arts and Commerce College conference room is on the first floor. Obviously, our volunteers will be there to guide you. But we expect you to be in the conference room and be seated by 9:15 at least, so that we will be able to begin. So we will have some opening address, and then we can start with our presentations that we have for the 2 days, right? So we would expect you to. So some of you are staying in the campus. You can certainly start your breakfast early at 8 a.m. itself. The breakfast is available since 8 a.m. And see to it that you are here at seated by 9:15 a.m. And those who are local participants, they can directly come to the venue. Okay. Anything that you want to ask? Any questions? Fine. So we'll meet tomorrow. We would have really loved to continue the discussions because the rains are really limiting us in terms of the time that we have. Because every time it rains, the college staff is like so restless in just shutting down the premises. So otherwise, every day we would have at least got 1 more hour to do the discussion. So, anyways, let's see. Thanks.